Where does creativity fit into this whole technology boom? And is it there, or should it be there, or what's going on?
Yeah, I think that it's got to be inspired by creativity, right? And in some ways it goes hand in hand. I'm sure, the engineers on the floor will tell you that it's about technology, and then we put creativity on top of that. Probably my job to tell you that you put the technology on top of the creativity. But it's got to go hand in hand. And for example, as I looked on the floor and as I've gone to some of the talks, there's definitely a theme of data-driven creativity, or ads, automated type things. And you can't help but is this what it must have felt like, when a factory worker was in Detroit and they told them that they were bringing in robots. It's a little bit of a bummer, but then at a certain point you're also like, well, wait a second, that means that maybe we're going to be able to make a better car. And so to me, that's the opportunity that's out there. Something else I think about, obviously when you think about all this technology and data and stuff like that is, there's a little bit of a danger. One of the quotes that I really love, I don't know who said it, but I tell people the quote anyway. It's that technology will reach its peak when you don't even realize it's there. And that's important, right? Like when we're making these things, you shouldn't see the data, you shouldn't see the automation, you shouldn't see the technology, you should just see and feel that idea. And even though it may have gotten there in a mad scientist sort of way, if an idea is great, if an ad is something that's going to really resonate with people, you're not going to remember it for its technology. I think video is changing in a couple ways. It's changing in how it's consumed, right? How it's consumed and distributed. Obviously now it's not just on a television set. It's in things like Netflix. It's on a YouTube. It's on Facebook, right? The way Facebook works is that you'll have a series of different videos, and you'll watch one video, and then the next one you watch, you want that to have something to do with the last one that you saw. So I think distribution is changing. How long is something? We're so used to making something that's 30 seconds. Now it doesn't matter, right? It could be 15 seconds. It can be 8 seconds. You've got Vines that are 6 seconds. I'm sure there's going to be something later on that's 2 seconds. So all of that is changing, and I think it can be a little bit daunting for a brand, because you're like, what do I make? I've got this idea, but how do I make it? And I think that's why it's such an awesome moment for creativity right now, because we're deciding the rules. If you're a brand, you have an opportunity to decide the rules for what that's going to be. So I think the distribution and the consumption is really interesting. I also think the generation is really interesting right now. How do we make this stuff? Because it's not just about getting a video camera anymore and going out and shooting something. You're seeing triggered video, video and stuff that's dynamic, right? And it's being generated by triggers that are social. Like what's happening in the world. There was Coke did a thing a couple years ago during the Super Bowl, where depending on what was happening in the game, video was getting generated differently. You're having video that's being generated by people interacting with things. So I decide I want to create, in the automotive industry, you can create a car, right? Instead of just seeing a picture of the car, now all of a sudden you got a video of this car coming, careening out, and it's the one you just made in this really magical way. You're seeing video stories, right, being generated by your social feed. So it's scraping your feed and it's figuring out what your name is, who your friends are, what you like, what you don't like, and it's creating custom video, a custom story based on all of that. So it's a super exciting time to be a creative or somebody who's putting this video in different places.